Welcome back to Syn's Arcade. I'm the Lord of Syn. This is No Man's Sky, and we are in the 4.0 Waypoint update. A lot has changed. A lot has changed. So let's go ahead and get into it and cover it. I apologize for a little bit of the slowness. I did put a lot of motion blur on, and I probably should take that back off. But hopefully it'll make it a little bit more seamless. Either way, we're going to head down to the surface, but there's a bunch to cover. So let's get into it. Alright, so Waypoint, obviously today, launched today on Friday, and is available now, making No Man's Sky available for the Nintendo Switch in its premiere, along with updates to all of the covers, all the new things that are changing today for all of the additional other platforms, PlayStation platforms, Xbox and PC. And Switch does not have multiplayer currently at the moment, and I'm not sure if it's going to ever get it, but this has been all streamlined to be able to make it compatible. So Switch players won't normally be able to play with a different console or a different platform, at least in this moment, but everybody else can. Now, as far as the things that changed, and I don't have a base here, so we're just going to go ahead and just go down. Oh, I guess I do. So we're going to go down to the settlement. Anyway, so everything has changed. Let's talk about what has changed. The exosuit has changed. Now you have technology slots and you have cargo slots. Right? You have technology slots and you have cargo slots. And you have to upgrade everything. When you first start out, all of your, or most of the upgrades that you had that were in your general and your technology slots prior to this update were all put into whatever limited technology slots you had. Now, the benefit is there are new items called exosuit expansion units that look like this, and those can be used to unlock more storage space. And you can do that from any space station. I won't be able to show you now because I've already done it on this one, but it can be done. Now, second to that, it is kind of glitchy right now. A lot of people are reporting that, but I want you to please be aware of that. You actually have to, when you're unlocking them, choose an empty space where you know that it would be, where there would be a cell for you to unlock, and then hit the apply. Now, the good thing about controllers is you can use the directional pad buttons to toggle between the technology and the cargo slots if you have enough of those components like I mentioned that I have. Alright, so and I'm gonna be shy. Obviously you guys know how I have that many, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. Starship has the same thing. There is no longer a differentiation between your general and your cargo. They're all now cargo or technology, and if you have enough Starship expansion and in the right kind of class on the ship, then you can rank up as well. Your exosuit, your starship, your exocraft, and your freighter can all have 60 in technology and 120 slots in cargo. Now the freighter, just like because it is a mobile backpack, as we mentioned before in one of my prior videos, on which is no longer valid because inventory is completely changed, but there's still some valid points. Those now are considerably much larger than they used to be. So you can see this was a full, pretty sure this was a full page before, and significantly how much larger the space is now compared to what it used to be. And that's for all of those. I had full storage containers across the board here. Alright. Now with your freighter, same thing. Your technology is up here. The good thing is that your freighter salvage freighter modules that you get from salvage frigates and from your expeditions, your frigate expeditions. They can bring these back too, if I remember correctly. There's a couple of different ways. I think you can even buy those in contraband sites or get them from specific loot boxy type items like the crates or the glass or the contraband. Either way, these also go inside of the core for your freighter, and cargo is everything else that's down below. Now, the other good thing is the cargo icons and the freighter icons, as before, are the same. So before, as we used to have it, where if you had the gear icon, you can only single stack, and if you had the box icon or the crate icon like before, then those were double stacks. Well, the way the iconography still works on that one is true. That's usually how that works. However, the other thing that's now inside of inventory is that any items that have a maxed stack, they maximum out to that, and it shows you on the overlay page here before you even have to hover over it how many you can max out to. So if it doesn't have it, for example, any of the ones that go to 9,999, then it just shows you how many are actually there, right? But if it doesn't have a stack capability like the Atlas Pass version 3, then it simply doesn't have that notation overlaying the image. So if you do not have any of these exosuit expansion units, and that may be difficult to come by. I actually had to get my first one from a Nexus mission. Then the other way that you do that is you go to the local space station and you order or go over to the cartographer, the map maker, and buy these exosuit upgrade charts. They will still find the drop pods just like before, but you won't need a signal booster anymore. Just by using it, just like the other maps, will just chart or show you where it's at, and then you plot and find your way to it. Okay, so, all right, coming out here. There's this. Let's go there. Got top chat. We need live chat. There we go. There. Okay, sorry, I was just checking to make sure we're all good on the stream. The other thing I'd like to point out is that exo vehicles. Alright, so exocraft, excuse me. Exocraft now also have a technology area and a cargo area.
Have the phone on silent. I am afraid, but I am with you in spirit. Emoji beaming face with smiling eyes.
Adam Augusta, thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate that. Hey, if the phone's on silent, that's quite alright too. I mean, obviously you have the video on demand. You can always catch up later on if you need to. Now, this is the Colossus, and the Colossus always had usually the largest cargo capacity of any of the other exocraft. But I did not have to do anything. This is how it came in. It's maxed out, fully maxed out like it'd be an S-Class. Excuse me, you still have to rearrange for the adjacency bonuses, potentially, right? That's what I had to do. But I also recommend, for good, smart inventory, pack everything in the bottom, because everything's going to load top down like before, from the top left corner all the way in. And it's just going to make it easier for you in the future, because it's going to take some shuffling too. That's why everything on my cargo goes here. The other thing I'd like to point out is this hover, or the scroll bar doesn't show up until you're hovering over it or over the actual matrix itself. If you stay further away, it's not going to show up. But if you can scroll this way, assuming I turn my sensitivity down, then you can scroll up and down and be able to review everything that's in there accordingly. And that's for everything too. That's a starship. Let's see, what else is there? Okay, so that's this, and this is just the Colossus. Colossus, doesn't see, it's pretty boring, right? So let me pick one I haven't looked at yet. What else do I want? Oops. Oh, come on. Come on, Sin. Go here. Pull up the... There we go. Here's the Nomad. I haven't even looked at the Nomad yet. Gotten into it. So the Nomad... Wow. That's not too shabby. It kept almost everything right close to each other. Oh, here's another thing that I'd like to mention. You can now store your technology. So say, for example, I don't want it, I run out of space, or I find that I don't need this or that specifically. I can go this way, store it, and goes down into here, and then when I'm ready, if I need to go back in and reinstall it, then I can just reinstall it. So yes, you can pull back any of your, you can even do that with S-Class components too, right? So let's go up here. This is an S-Class liquid gas stabilizer for life support upgrade with a plus 50% life support tanks, plus 36% solar panel power, and I can just pull that back and drop it down here and slot in a different one if I need to. So that might be beneficial, perhaps, to think about too. I did that and I just heard. So that's pretty cool. The Nomad did pretty decent. Makes me, is there a way to add more Nomad stuff? Oh, there is. Huh. So let's go here. Let's add that. Something just flew over the top of us. Radar amplifier installed. Notice not all of these cells are filled in. And I don't know if there is an exocraft storage thing yet. I have not found one. That doesn't mean that there isn't one, because there is now a exosuit one that there wasn't before. And so there is one of those now. So there might actually be one for exocraft to actually upgrade them. Notice that there's this whole panel over here on the right. These, 3 by 5, 15 cells are empty and not even filled in. What else is there? Don't worry about the rest of them. So there's that, and that gives you a lot more versatility. Alright, so what is the next thing? Alright, multi-tool. If you have the capability and you have an S-Class or, a higher class multi-tool, and you've got enough money to burn and or the augmentation for the multi-tool upgrades, then you've got as much space right there. I think it goes to a full 60. Which may be beneficial, because now you don't have to specialize in each multi-tool or have each multi-tool specialized. Although that was quite fun to actually have that. That made them feel worthwhile to carry around 5 or 6 multi-tools, because they all had specific benefits, that you could pull one out that was better at scanning than anything else. So there are some pros and cons thus far to all of this. You still have a stack limit on many of those components, so that's something you have to consider. On some of them, and I'm not sure if it's a bug yet or not, some people are getting better stack limits than others. For example, you may be able to get a better stack limit on, your starship components, right? Or some of your exosuit components, or even your freighter components. For example, I can go out to a maximum of 6 here, but that's because I have the water jets enabled, but the rest of those are the original, and so that means only 4. If I were to go back for a 5th one right now, I probably would not let me have it. So, and I don't want, let me see if that will actually let me put that on. I'd be quite amazed if it did, but also not. So there, and okay, I'm surprised. Maybe they did bump the limit up further. I wonder if it's just other ranked or rated ones. I don't have any in here. Yeah, I don't have any in here. Alright. Let's see, what else? What other things to change? I know there's some things. Besides the catalog here, obviously there are going to be some components, because of the way they're broken up. Core, exotic, fuel and utilities. And then wow, that is loud in the ears. Alright, so yeah, there's some other curiosities we still have to unlock. There's 4 or 5 of them there that I don't have. Perhaps you guys do it in the comments down below, but if you find them, let me know. Whether you're watching this live with me or after the fact. The more that we all unlock this, even just through playing, then the more everybody else gets carried along, right? We're all in this together. Alright, so refiners. There's way more that I'm going to find. Complex refiner recipes, more cooking recipes. There you go. The ingredient storage in the food processors is now double. So the ingredient storage inside of the food processors is double what it used to be. The ingredient or the storage capacity of all of your storage containers at bases, as well as inside of your freighter, if you have them installed there, is more than doubled. Let's see here. There's that. Bunch of freighter technologies that apparently I don't have. Some of those look like radar dishes. What is going on here? That leads me to believe, I didn't see this till just now, but that means there are at least 2 other scanners that are not yet, or I haven't found, available for the freighter. Hold on just a moment. I'm calling shenanigans. Yeah, there's no other components. Where do I unlock those components from? Interstellar scanner. And this. Huh. Now this looks like one of the other items that we saw in the Curiosity. So I'm wondering if maybe those just haven't been piled there. You guys can look through the rest of these here. There's maybe some more stuff that I haven't caught. Apparently the Quicksilver event for the weekend, the first one is 1800 Quicksilver. So if you can do that by yourself or with friends, I highly recommend taking advantage of that to get some new stuff in there. Alright, so one of the new things in options, these are all pretty self-explanatory how they used to be. No difference there. In general options, in video options, I believe, no, I think that's all the same. I did readjust some things as I was testing. That's all the same. Camera shake has been added, I believe, now to every that was not there, and you may or may not like that. Camera height, I don't remember that being here. That has now been enabled. I've got mine set to eye level. That was control, right? Yeah. And then the difficulty settings. Now I was messing with this. That's why it's all set to custom, as crazy as possible, just playing with it. But you have preset toggles up here. Right now I'm playing custom. Then there's normal, creative, relaxed, survival, and you don't have permadeath. Notice permadeath is not on there because permadeath is something you have to pick from the very, very beginning, apparently. So even if I were to go to survival, oops, go back. Go to survival, then you can see down the line how that changes all of these settings. But there is one setting in particular, regardless, that I want to point out. So if you were to go back to normal mode, I would like to point out that the death consequences, it hasn't been this way for normal mode in quite a while, by the way. But apparently standard says you'll drop all of your carried inventory items into... Oh yeah, it has been that way. Yeah, it has. I just normally don't... That's why I recommended people to keep your inventories the specific way that you do have it. That way you can go back and usually if it's inside of cargo, then it wouldn't matter. Now, I don't know if that matters at all. I actually haven't died. That's a good point. I'm going to have to look into that and report back with another video for you guys on it. Alright, so... Just notice this one, I would like to point out that the death consequences you can actually change even if you're playing on a normal save. For example, this originally was normal save, and I had already gone all the way down to that really crazy custom build. And you can change all of this up however you want. There's lots of different settings here, and I can go over them if you need me to. Looking over. Very, very fun, and there may be some challenges that come up from this. For example, maybe making it much more challenging because there's 400 hours into this game of changing all of this and putting it on challenging and hostile and everything else. That way I really have to deal with the consequences of my choices. Let's go here, scanner recharge, scarce. There we go. Now you want to hit apply difficulty changes because regardless of whatever you do, that's the only way to get them going there. And now I just realized that I did that and I'm gonna have to pay for it, but it is what it is. Alright. Get in here. Actually, we're not gonna get in here. Let's see, what else is there? Pilgrim. I haven't seen the Minotaur yet. I haven't messed with the Minotaur at all. Alright, give me... Oof, okay, I don't know. Maybe I should leave the Minotaur alone when I've actually figured it out, but we can do that now. We can do that now. Oh, this is not going to be easy, is it? Alright. Where is that? Right. That's digging. That's weapon. Cannon upgrade. Laser. Draw from mining right now. Mining. This is mining too. Okay. No, okay. I'm gonna get out of here. Yeah, I know. Okay, it's not too bad. Not too bad at all. Come over here. Cave right next to us. Not gonna be very exciting, but it's very glad. Data. Drive, Sin, drive. Oh man. It was all a dead end. It was all a dead end. Thanks for visiting the cave. Come back soon. I wonder how crazy it is to look at these things now. Hold on. That makes driving considerably. I feel like I'm Batman here. The only problem is you can't see me. Yeah, can't see me there. Sorry, guys. That left turn in Albuquerque, wasn't it? Yes, it was. Okay, I'm not preserving the cave life very well. My apologies. Serious apologies. I'm trying to get out of here. Wow, that fuel loosed up fast. Refuel required. What fuel? Alright, that doesn't make any sense, but okay. sincerest apologies. I don't know how to fly today. I don't know how or why it landed like that, but it did. That just happened. Alright. Oh. Oh no. It's been infested. What did they post on the bulletin board this week? Oh, there's a rave going on, apparently. Rorschach's been here. That's an awful lot of frost wort. Very, very nicely manicured frost wort, though. Look at that. Pretty impressive. What do we got in here? Oh, I think this was supposed to be like the generator room. Yeah, I didn't. There's a server rack in here. Let's change it up. I think that was supposed to be a giant garage. And I keep forgetting to come back over here and set this all back up. This is an astronomy, I believe. Observatory, excuse me. Yeah, okay, so this is just a big hangar at this point. Alright, big open hangar. Where is the entrance is over here. Why is it on this side? Because of course it's on this side. Oh, that's right. Okay, it is a secure facility. Okay, we're not doing that right now. But alright, this is I honestly cannot think of anything else off the top of my head that's going to be in here. Please know that yes, the inventory is going to be slightly messy. It's not going to be very fun to mess with to begin with, but it's absolutely worthwhile and worth your time to play around with, and just know that you want to be patient. So for example, when you're unlocking or adding more technology storage or cargo storage in any of the other ones, you're going to have to select into an area and then toggle back and forth between the two as you're applying them or adding them down below. If you have some of the exosuit storage augmentations, for example, you still have to buy one slot at the space station, and then any interaction after that will use whatever storage items that you have to fill up the storage. Now, I'd like to be able to host a community night event because I'd like to give some of these away. These are not exactly the easiest thing to get. And I'd like to be able to give some of these away. I'd like to be able to help people get back to where they wanted to be, because I'll be honest with you, at this point I was really getting close to the point where I was running low on my inventory, and now, especially with the storage stuff inside the freighter, I don't have to worry about that again for quite a while. I mean, I can hold on to some stuff. Oh, there is one last thing I wanted to show. Okay, yes, this is very important. I think you're going to be like this. There are or at least one item from the Nexus that you're going to want to go get, and it's in the exosuit area. I cannot remember the name of the character, but the item you're going to look for is what's called the storage a trade rocket. Now, no one else can see this but you. But it is a trade rocket that you can call down if you need to get rid of some stuff. It's pretty cool looking. Alright, let's see if we can get the... There you go. I guess that's a pretty decent thumbnail. At least it looks like it to me. Alright, so once you get the trade rocket down, you come over and you load it with items that you want to get rid of that you're trying to get and sell. So, for example, let's go ahead and quick transfer those over. It's a semiconductor worth 1.5 mil. And, you know, maybe... Let's see, what else do I have in here? That's it. Alright, so... maybe... half of those. Throw those in. So, whatever I fill into, it'll actually tell you how much your total haul would be just by selling them out. Whenever you're done, then I think you go back in here. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, hold on. Go in. There it is. Launch rocket. My apologies. Then you launch it. And he's gone, baby, gone. That leads me to believe, though, that if you were to follow the rocket, it might actually take you to the closest trade outpost or trade depot. Because it looks like that's where he's headed. I mean, obviously, where he's almost at, and I'm at full zoom now. And then, as soon as that gets sold, then I'll get a notification that, that, you know, here's my cut, so to speak. Where am I going? Sin, pay attention. Crazy sin. Especially because I put it on like survival difficulty. Alright, either way, this is the THE-LordofSyn saying thank you so much for checking it out today. I hope I was pretty comprehensive as to the new and recent updates on the game. And if you have additional questions, please don't hesitate to ask down below in the comments. Now or even after the fact when we go to video on demand. I'll be here and I'll try to help you out. I'll make videos if I need to cover new content. That's something I wanted to bring up to you guys today. Bring you up and just hope that if you need any of those things, reach out to me. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you liked what I've already provided today as far as the information, then there's plenty more to come from Syn's Arcade, not just for No Man's Sky, but multiple other games as well. Hope to see you then. Have a great one. Take care.